Hey, it's Charissa Godwin. I was invited by John to share my entrepreneurial journey with you today. And a lot of you probably have heard a little bit here and there about John's wife, me. So I just wanted to share a little bit of my heart with you and my current journey and how John's really helped me today. So I wasn't always an entrepreneur. In fact, I detested the thought of ever becoming a business owner or an entrepreneur. Now, my parents, you have to understand my story. My parents separated when I was 5 years old, and my mom went on to grow a very successful business as a celebrated jewelry designer, but she often neglected me when I was with her on the weekends. I did realize that it actually left a very negative emotional scar, and I only realized that when I was much older. So, fast forward to my more recent history. I had now worked 8 years as a personal trainer and 5 years in healthcare. A friend wanted to hire me, actually, a friend was just asking us if he knew anybody whom he could hire part time as a virtual assistant to help him in his business. Now, I was curious, and as I've never done anything like that before, I kind of offered myself up. That opportunity fortuitously blossomed into more referrals from more related small business owners, and I became very good at what I did. Now, John encouraged me to replicate myself. So, at 2 years later, right here, we are at 13 staff members and 58 clients. And that is, in a nutshell, how I found myself filling the shoes that I'm currently in. What you did not see in between the space of those years was the journey I went through that prepared me. Now, turning 35 was a big ultimatum for me, and it was a really, really big wake up call. At this point, I just onboarded my third client as a part time virtual assistant while still keeping my full time day job as a doctor's office assistant. And I was kind of torn in between something that was really fast becoming my own and still helping with someone else's dream. On top of that, I used to and still do on some days contend with feelings of inadequacy and somewhat self loathing. I looked at someone like John, who is so accomplished and so eloquent, and I used to compare it with myself. Sometimes you can't help feeling like that. And what I've come to realize is that it's okay to feel scared. It's okay to feel inadequate. It's okay to feel insecure. We all have that. Even the most prolific and the most eloquent person does. But John really helped me realize that it's not okay to stay rooted in the ground in fear because of it. A big tip I will give you guys that really helped me at first was acceptance. Accept that you're not perfect, but your imperfection is also a beautiful story. Be willing to be vulnerable with yourself first and then eventually with others. We're all going to have our soft underbellies, our weaknesses, if you will. Learn them and use them in your journey. See, do it scared. So what if you're scared? Do it scared. You may have heard of this, but courage is doing something in spite of that fear. I don't really like working on the financial aspect of my business currently. I really hate it, in fact. And the number crunching is just something I really detest. But you know what? I do it anyway because I know once I get going, I'll be fine. Now, I woke up one day completely miserable, realizing I'd already gone through like about half my life, right, when I was at 35 without doing anything significant, and my days were numbered. Finally, one day I just realized that, and it really dawned on me that we were all meant to leave a mark on this planet, our mark. Now, I know that may really sound corny to you, but seriously, just for a moment, ask yourself, what mark do you want to leave on this world that's worthy of you? And have you started yet? And if you haven't, when are you going to? When I first got started, I felt very directionless. It quickly became apparent I needed guidance. And taking advice from John, despite his wisdom, wasn't always an easy pill to swallow, maybe because he was just too close, because he was my husband. So I really wasn't ready to hear it from him. Now, instead of taking that free advice from John, I signed on with a 1-year contract with a business coach valued at $8,000. That's a lot of money for a startup. that coach helped me with certain parts of my business, but really not much financially. So I hired another coach to help me with my profitability, and I had to pay $79 every single time we spoke, and that was like a couple of minutes. Time and time again, I've come to realize that what they gave me, all that advice that they've been giving me, was things that John had already told me. And I would go up to him and go, you know what? I hate to say it, and I hope you don't tell me I told you so, but I learned this, and it really was what you told me before. Oops. So the money I paid for coaching um, is it just really came to me about how valuable John's coaching really, really is. And I know he's giving you that one free coaching call with this course. That is insane. I can't believe that he's giving that out for free, actually. I've actually given him some flack for it. So please take advantage of his offer. I implore you. If you get a chance to do a coaching package with him, I'd also highly recommend it. So that is from the wife. And I hope to talk to you sometime later. Take care.